Hi there, this is Dr. Nerren over at SSD, and today I'm here to talk to you a little bit about audio recording as an accommodation. So what can I do if I get audio recording as an accommodation on an accommodation letter in a class, right? What does it mean if I get audio recording listed there for an accommodation for my student? Does that mean that I'm recording myself as a faculty member? Does that mean that the student is recording me? Where does that recording go? Do I have control over where it goes? And how do I ensure that this accommodation is in place? So these are questions that I get all the time. And this particular video is about anticipating and answering those questions. Okay, so what is audio recording as an accommodation? Audio recording as an accommodation actually says that the student has the ability to audio record us as faculty members while they come into our class, right? That might be for a number of different reasons. And I've really seen this accommodation for so many different kinds of differences and disabilities that we accommodate here at SSD. So we can never really presuppose why that might be, that that a student may have this accommodation, because it's so unique to the individual and is really between the individual and their counselor here at our accommodations office. However, if you do have questions, you can always go back to the student's counselor to ask for more information. Sometimes students can get releases. The students have the right to provide a release so that the counselor can provide you more information. But students also have the right to not provide a release, right? Because their disability related information is theirs to share or not share as they choose, okay? So we may only know what's on the accommodation letter. And I mentioned that just to say there's no way to guess why that's there. And that's part of protecting the students' rights. But there is a lot of ways to help demystify audio recording as an accommodation. So first off, when it says that, what it's saying is that the student can record us as faculty. The student has made a commitment to the SSD office here that they are not going to share or copy or replicate or distribute in any way that recording. That recording is only for accommodations and personal use for that student and that student alone. So I understand that faculty are really, really protective about their classes and their intellectual property, and rightfully so, right? When you think about what academic freedom is and how important that is, and the work and labor that goes into our classes, we do have the right to be protective about it. And I'm here to assure you that we bear that in mind here at SSD as well when we have our students commit to us that their recording is only for their use and nothing else, and only for their academic purposes in the context of that class and nothing else. Okay, so it's very much contained and committed, and we take that really seriously because we know that it's a protection both of you and of them. Okay, so does it mean that faculty needs to record the class? Now, if faculty is already recording the class, they could respond to the accommodation letter and say, it's already recorded. I provide a Zoom recording at the end of each class, et cetera, et cetera. We'll mark it down, done. We'll tell the student, et cetera. They may still bring a recording, and they might still prefer to record in the way that they prefer to record. How they record is up to them. Sometimes we provide a recording device if they like to record on our recording device. Sometimes their audio recording takes place on another kind of device that we provide some students called a smart pen, which is both an electronic note taker and a text, like handwritten to text, and also an audio recorder. Sometimes they record on their phone or tablet or computer. What they record on might be a personal device, but the commitment about what they do with that recording is the same. If you have a student that has audio recording as an accommodation and you are worried that maybe they're not recording, or that they don't have a device to record on, you can always reach out to our office and we can follow back up with the student. That might be a counselor to student conversation or an SSD coordinator to student conversation. But it's really helpful to know, right? Our obligation is to work with you to implement accommodations on behalf of our accommodated students. So if you see that maybe an accommodation such as recording, there might be a gap there, maybe it's related to the unique differences of that student, right? Maybe there's a way that we can help them to make sure that they have access even that 1% more. And we are here to do that. So that might be a really quick and easy conversation between faculty member and our office, where then maybe we can follow back up with the student and check in with them and make sure they have what they need, right? So hopefully this anticipated a couple of the questions that you might have about audio recording as an accommodation. If it doesn't, or if this happened to just spurn a million more questions for you or unique situations in your class, please reach out to me anytime. My email is jessica.nerren@csusb.edu, and I would be happy to talk with you more about it anytime. Thank you so much.